it working? Testing. Oh. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our regular council meeting for March 4th, 2024. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional territories and the oral practices of the Blackfoot Nation, which include the Siksika, the Kainai, and the Piikani. We also acknowledge the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, the Métis Nation District 4, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. We're making this acknowledgement to demonstrate our continuing efforts to work together as we strive for reconciliation through increased and collective learning. And we'll start off the afternoon with a staff introduction. Todd?
I would like to introduce Osman Ghani to our facility as a preventive maintenance 3 operator. Osman came to Canada in 2022 from Bangladesh. He's been in Calgary for the last 2 years. Upgrading his education at SAIT. He's got a 4th and 5th class power engineering in the last 2 years. Outside of work, Osman likes to travel and play soccer. Osman has been with us for a week and he's been a real rock star. And yes, he prefers to be called by Ozzy. So.
Yeah, welcome to Brooks there and welcome aboard there. So thanks for joining our team here. So thank you, yeah. Okay, moved by Councillor Prentice that the agenda be adopted as amended by adding agenda item 5B, the Silver Sage update presentation, and 9A, bylaw 2410, amendment to the land use bylaw 1412, and by re-lettering the remaining agenda items as required. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that the minutes from the regular council meeting held February 20th, 2024 be approved. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Idris that the Spec Association for Children and Families Youth Connection Program presentation be accepted as information. Who's doing this one? You are, okay, hey, welcome. I was looking for Amanda there, but yeah, we're only allowed so many good enoughs in the building at the same time. Okay, go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you guys for having me today. I'm here to present on the MES, and this is going to be a combination of a report over the last 10 months, as well as a request to moving forward for the next 2 years. So as a refresher, when we came to you guys before, we explained that Youth Connections is part of SPEC, and we work with youth from 7 to 11-year-olds and then 11 to 17-year-olds, and it is for an after-school program as well as developing life skills and ultimately giving youth a safe space to be, making connections, which then is preventative and will provide youth with great life skills to move forward in our society. So with that being said, we'll do the next slide, please. Perfect. Because of your support over the past 10 months, we have had over 2,300 youth drop into the MES. We have been upstairs in the mezzanine, and this was, again, an in-kind partnership through the city and us. We've been able to host 3 major events down in the Fields House and had lots of other agency partnerships come and attend with us. And through the MES activities, it is snacks, entertainment, connections, youth being able to connect with peers, with adults, and it has been an overall wonderful experience for us to have. And one more, please. Perfect. So this is kind of where we all started. We wanted to hear from the youth themselves and seeing what it is that they would want for them to be able to come and stay and hang out at the MES. And so we hung out in the JBS in the lobby and we asked them what it is that you want. And as you guys can tell, their main requests were food. And so we did our best to provide snacks so that way they will come. And then entertainment and everything from cell phone chargers to games to area to hang out with my friends. And so we kind of took what they asked for and created this space upstairs. We also did this through partnership with the library, where they had extra chairs that they came up and they were comfy, and other types of beanbag chairs and that kind of stuff. So in the beginning, we recruited. Then these next 3 slides that we have here are different activities that we do with the youth every single week. We have some games that we keep every single week. They're their favorites and they won't be going anywhere. And then we have new and fresh activities every time to keep it exciting and unique. In some of the pictures there, you can see that as they come in, they sign in, and that is how we keep track of how many youth are attending, from which school. They sign a liability saying that they are responsible for themselves, and it helps for them to take ownership and part of the skill building. As you can see that in one of the pictures, we had a popcorn buffet, or make your own popcorn snacks, and that was a favorite. For that day alone, we had over 100 youth in attendance. So it varies from time to time. Our lowest numbers would be around 40, but 100 would be up to the high end. These are some of our competition games. We offer prizes as incentives, and through a partnership and donation with Grant Thornton, we were able to provide the snacks and prizes as part of our programming. And this is the last slide of some of our activities. I should also do a shout out to the Brookston District Drug Task Force and the city, which we use the yard games there regularly, and they are a hit every single time. Competition is huge for youth, as you guys could imagine, and so any type of prize attached to competition is a great way for them to come and stay in the safe space. The next 3 slides are examples of our big events that we host. So with your guys' partnership, we've been able to host them in the Field House, and we've had our Bouncin' Bonanza, where this was a whole bunch of inflatable castles that came, and we had well over 100 youth attending that night. The next slides are examples of our glow parties. Kind of hard to see up here, but that's the point, I suppose, is the lights were out, the glow stuff was there, and the kids, the youth, had a blast. We also had the Brooks Bandits come out for this one. Our Safe Communities policing came out, and we had lots of fun for all of them, most of which, again, over 100 youth attending these events. So what we would categorize as a huge success, especially for our first times running these activities. Excellent. So after we were running for a couple months, we brought Makerspace along with us, and that is also with SPEC. This has been a huge advantage for everyone involved. It's been very mutually beneficial. It brought out a different group of youth and combined youth that are normally at JBS, and so it was really great way to see everyone interact with each other. It doesn't matter who you are, they were hanging out playing the Switch together or on the VR together, and so it has been a wonderful addition to the Mez, and I feel it brings just a different atmosphere in different areas. We have our competition side, our crafting side, hangout side, to our technology side, so it's been awesome. I kind of already expressed that we had our police officers there before. We have had CFAN. We are going to be having McMahon in the future. The Bandits came out and I'm sure had more fun than a lot of our youth did. And so it's just really been a great experience to kind of bring other agencies on board. The library is there regularly, and it has just been wonderful. And no one has said no that we have asked. Everyone is very much all for, in support of coming and supporting the youth. For this slide here, it shows you the monthly drop-in rates that we have. The low ones represent the summer, which should be no surprise to anyone. Hopefully they are outside or camping or away with family. But it's also very much aligned with the consistent numbers that the JBS drop-in is getting anyways. So all of the months as they pass by very much coincide with the drop-in open gym that they have. So if the open gym is there, we most likely have higher numbers up at the Mez as well, if not exactly the same. The next slide we have actually breaks it down even further. And so one of the questions that we were given before was, well, which age range, which schools are they coming from? And so from our presentation at the Parks and Rec from now, we've actually added this in to kind of break it down and showcase that we have a lot of different age ranges coming and shared from a lot of different schools. The junior high school is at the top. Obviously, that could be a proximity thing as well with SJC and CTK. Sunrise, St. Luke's. So you can tell we have a wide range of youth that are attending, including our rural students, which is great. A lot of times they'll come and stay. Sometimes it's stay, hang out for a bit until their after school sport is on. So it kind of differs for each group of kids that come through. But we're having a very good representation for what we can offer, especially without transportation being offered to these activities. And so moving forward, this is where a request comes in. We were very fortunate that our funding has been extended by 2 years until March 31st of 2026. And so we are then requesting the city to extend the in-kind partnership of the mezzanine for the next 2 years as well. So that way we continue with the mezzanine, continue to grow what it is that we are doing, creating those connections, that safe space for youth, and building off of that. And thank you.
Okay, I'll open it up for questions here, but I'll kind of start off there. I'm really impressed with the numbers, you know, when you look at the numbers, and even high school, because I wouldn't think the high school, you know, kids would sort of partake in that there too. And even the rural, you have, you know, 21 rural people, which is quite phenomenal too, to bring those people in. So the numbers are quite impressive there too. And the other thing I've often said too, it's so nice to use that facility, you know, there's the empty space. So, you know, to have those spaces occupied by whoever in the community or the surrounding area there, that's really good. So I think it's been a great program. So thanks for your work in that there too. I don't know, I can open it up for questions for anybody else here too. Okay? And go ahead, Councilor Wardrop, yeah.
Since and I've already had the pleasure of receiving this presentation already, but I just wanted to say, commend you again. And just keep it up, and nobody is more enthusiastic about your youth program than we are, so keep up the great work, and thank you for partnering and working with our awesome rec staff as well. So you guys are all doing a great job. Thank you.
Yep, and there's something coming up at council later on today for your request on that there too. So thanks very much for your time there, Chelsea. Yeah, good presentation there. Thank you. Oh, I didn't have my mic on there, but anyway, okay. Welcome, Kent. We're looking forward to this here.
And we are looking forward to it as an organization as well, to be able to have this opportunity to present with you. My name is Ken Neufeld. Sorry. Thanks. My name is Ken Neufeld, and I'm the president of the Silver Sage Ag Society. So big thank you to you for giving us this opportunity, and we are undertaking some exciting work as a board in our society, and we wanted to share that with you today. With me today are two of my fellow board members behind me, Max Tateson and Jim Ailman, and our facility manager, who's Daryl Wierstra. So next slide. So to start with, this is a snapshot of what we do, and the reason it's up there is because I walk around town and I have people ask me, what are you doing or what's happening at the Silver Sage? And one old fella said to me, do you do anything for girls out there? And I had to scratch my head and think a little bit, okay, what are we doing, when are we doing them, what pertains to girls? So that process of answering that question caused me to think, you know what, there's probably a lot of people in our community that really don't know what we're doing. If you look at this slide, this is what's happening between now and October out there. I'm not going to read it all. That would be wasting our time. But we are going to put this in the paper as an advertisement to let people know. But what I wanted you to know is that inside of those events that are happening with the year, in a total year, Our numbers show that we service about 13,000 people through our venue. And those events that are represented there, just those ones you see there, there are 4 two-day events, there are 3 two-day events, and there's 1 4-day event. Meaning that there's people that are here for an extended period of time. So some of those 13,000 people don't always just leave, come and go in a day. They're sometimes here for a night, to go to restaurants or whatever. So that to us is significant about why we are a player in this community and a valuable player. Next slide. So when I talked a little bit about the exciting things that are happening at the Silver Sage, we want to share with you our vision and values. When we started 2 years ago as a board, we were told by the people in Edmonton that we were deficient in not having a vision. It took us a couple years to kind of figure out who we are and put us into place to get one, to figure out how to do it. We spent a couple months, and we have developed a vision and a values, and that sort of is on the slide there as what we will cast as our vision, our mission statement going forward. We are devoted to this community and creating growth within the walls of the society and in the community. Next slide. So this takes us to our vision, and I'm going to read this off the slide. I think some can't maybe see or twist their neck to see. It says, at the Silver Sage Ag Society, our goal is to bring together the value of agriculture and Western heritage values to create strong partnerships and foster connections within our community. We truly believe in the power of unity and working together to serve our community. As we developed this vision, we also developed what is called a strategic plan that we will roll out in 2024 and 25. It will lead to creating strong partnerships and foster mutually beneficial connections within our community. Next slide. So this is our strategic plan identified by 3 components as we went over. So the idea is that we need to remain sustainable. We need to optimize our facility and our venue, and we need to communicate and connect more with our community. Next slide. How do we do this? We'll start with sustainability. First of all, we know we need to have a strong, healthy board. We have that today. We assure you of that. We're not looking for that, but we have it, and we want to keep it. We have competent, dedicated staff, and that's the same comment there. We are very satisfied and happy with our competent, dedicated staff. We need a membership that's committed and engaged, and we need to work a little more on that. It was pretty big when the wreck happened, but it got smaller over the years. So how we build that up again is a challenge that we will face. We need governance that's streamlined, effective, and enabling, and of course, intentional and focused fiscal responsibility, which they are in place. That is in place, has been in place, and our auditor tells us that we do a very good job of being fiscally responsible in that organization. So developing an organizational structure that aligns with assigns the board members to their identified areas of expertise is one of the things that we are working on and have been working on. We have an itemized facility renovation and maintenance budget with priorities set. We keep our board and society on track and focused by involving a variety of partnerships to bring insight and to identify community needs and resources that meet these needs. Sustainability is where partnerships really come into play, and we want to just make a note right now that we are extremely appreciative of Joe Goodenough and his involvement with our board. He has brought a lot of value and to our board, and we appreciate his involvement. So thank you, Joel, thank you for sending him, and thank you for his commitment to us. Next slide. The next one we have to do is optimize our facility, the space where we are. So we are continually energizing our efforts to improve our site and our events. We are in the process of creating a site master plan to give direction for future growth. And as we look at the area we occupy, we see space that offers great opportunities that can really benefit our society and help us serve this community and add value in many ways. So we look to develop partnerships within this community to position ourselves as a society to optimize this space. Our master plan will give consistency going forward and ensure that we stay focused and on track. Next slide. The community. Thinking about being involved in this community is what initiated our desire to be here today. We believe that being mutually aligned will be a benefit to this community. We also know that it will enhance the Silver Sage storyline to this community, and we need to do that. We need to, and we are, and we will do more assessing of our impact in order to improve and sell the Silver Sage brand to our entire city and our county. We as a society are continually enabling, creating, and fostering meaningful relationships with businesses, partners, and individuals to grow our organization. So our goal is to have our community see value in the spirit of agriculture and Western heritage values and the partnerships to which we are committed. We will seek to increase the impact of our organization to this community that we serve. Next slide. So basically an overview, or in conclusion, as you can see, we are positioning the Silver Sage Ag Society to remain healthy and growing with a strong partnerships within and throughout this community. We believe and we share a common mission of welcoming, inclusive acceptance, clothed in trust and honesty, and regional identification and pride with the rest of this community. Our goal is to be viewed by all as a valuable organization that works to be relevant by fostering unity and collective effort to cause our entire community to thrive. And our desire is to increase our presence and our effectiveness as we serve this community. Next slide. So thank you for inviting us. There's the list of board members, the current board members that are our board of directors. And so on behalf of them, we would like to say thanks for allowing us to be present here today. We consider it a real privilege and are grateful for your time. And we have to note here, his name isn't up there, but we have to make a special thank you out to Joel Goodenough for his involvement and contributions with our board. We feel fortunate to have him and appreciate his valuable contributions. We'd also like to acknowledge our devoted staff and the volunteers whose tireless efforts and commitment each day keep the wheels turning at the Silver Sage Ag Society and contribute immensely to the vitality of our community. Thank you.
Okay, I'll open it up for questions here too, but Councillor Goodenough got a couple accolades from you there, but he's a cowboy from way back in Moose Jaw there. I want to say, first of all, thank you for you guys coming forward there, because 2 years ago it looked pretty devastating on what was going to happen out there. So for the board there, you know, thanks for coming forward to organize that again. Secondly, thanks for taking over the rodeo there too. You know, and the Kinsmen, they worked very hard for over 50 years to do that. And like most service clubs in the community, you know, the numbers sort of dwindle there. It's still one of the biggest events in the community annually, whatever. It's always a lot of fun. I enjoy taking people out there because I do my Bobby Tallman impersonation, whatever, because I kind of explain calf roping and things like that. You guys would know who Bobby Tallman is there. Yeah, yeah. The other thing, a couple other things I want to mention there too. I know I love showing off this community, and I always kind of take them to the Silver Sage, whatever, and always it's been open there. And I know the one day that Daryl was calf roping there, and there was the Colombians there, and I think you guys had a chance to talk to the Colombians there. And Daryl was given a perfect demonstration on how to calf rope there, whatever. He's just an incredible calf roper there, you know, there too. But the last thing too is I think a lot of people don't realize realize the economic benefits to the community. When you bring in the Chinook Rodeo Finals or the Alberta High School Finals, the economic boost to the community, because these guys, they're stopping, to get a meal. They're stopping for gas, inevitably somebody's doing some shopping, whatever. So the economic benefits are immense to the whole Brooks Newell region there. So again, I just kind of want to point those things out there too. And I know with Councillor Goodenough, he says that's his favorite board, whatever. You must serve some good Kool-Aid when at your meetings or something out there. Yeah, anyway, I'll leave it to anybody. Anybody else have question or comment, or yeah? No, thanks, and we're looking forward to the year ahead there. You got a lot of activities, and I'm glad you were able to join us today here, and maybe we can kind of do it as an annual event where you kind of keep us posted on what's happening around the community there. So
Yes, thank you very much.
yeah, thank you very much. Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Idris that the following items of correspondence be received as information, updates on council conferences and workshops. The accounts payable listing and notes from the council committee, February 27th, 2024. And Councillor Idris, I'll start off. You had a chance to meet some people from JBS here last week, and I think Councillor Goodenough was part of that meeting there too.
Yes, so the JBS, our largest employer in the community, have this thing called the Leadership Summit, which is actually the highest professional development opportunity for their most senior executives that are moving to VPs and CEOs all over the world. So there were people from the States, there were people from Australia, there were people from Germany, there were people from Brazil, from all over, about 40. And they asked actually why did they choose Brooks to do their PD. And they said that this is actually one of their most successful plant. Whether it is the turnover, whether it is the community connections, whether it is that corporate citizenship that the plant here and the administration here, JBS, do. So they wanted everyone else to see how it should be done. Like many of these other executives talked about that they are in a community, they do their thing, and that's it. They don't have that connection to the community. So that's why the president of the company chose Brooks to be the location for the Leadership Summit. I think they spent about 4 or 5 days here. They visited different facilities. They went to the JBS. They were very impressed by the JBS center. They went ice fishing. They did many different things, and then they had the lunch at the engineer's house. And our MP Martin Shield gave a very entertaining and informative lecture on history of the place, history of the region. And of course, also we had Kathy, who is always passionate and can talk forever about the community. And then we had one-on-ones with many of them. They were very, very impressed, and they talked about the feeling of community that they saw in our community. We had lunch there, and they went on. That was their last day in Brooks. So they were very appreciative of the community. And it was also a good way for the plant here and for us to show our community off in comparison to their other plants around the world.
And we had the pleasure of giving them -21, and a lot of them had never ever seen that before either. And then ice fishing, a lot of people can't comprehend ice fishing, and then I think they went out to the Outback a little bit and went to the Patricia Hotel for some JBS steaks there. yeah. Okay, also with workshops, Councillor Wardrop, if you want to talk about the budget that came down, you were part of the conference call there.
Yeah, just I don't have a whole lot of detail, but Alberta Municipalities held a webinar on Friday, just initial comments on the budget. So overall, concerning for municipalities in terms of the overall funding that we'll be receiving. So as you know, Alberta Municipalities advocated very strongly for $1.75 billion in that core capital funding. the number did remain unchanged and came down at 722 million. So that's the one big thing. The other item is the education tax collection. So the province will be taking an additional 9.2% from their portion of our education tax. So that is quite a significant amount for municipalities to be, well, we won't get that portion of that education tax. And I believe the number for education was an additional 4.4% overall. So they're funding 4.4%, but they're taking an additional 9.2%. So that obviously leaves us in a tough situation there. So the other, so I guess that's number 2. The third thing overall is that Alberta is experiencing obviously a lot of growth, inflation, and just overall in generalities, the funding that we will be receiving is not going to be keeping up with those numbers that we need to service our to be able to provide service for our community. So, right, we're our first level of government. We're going to be stretched a bit thin to find the capital to fund our major programs in the city. So that's what's kind of coming down. I think I believe it's tomorrow that Alberta municipalities will be releasing their detailed report on the budget. So we can check that out there. But those are just the initial pieces I picked up for municipalities specifically.
Yeah, some other things I saw in the budget too, they're putting more money into rural medicine in order to get rural doctors into the area there. They're putting a lot more money into the trades at both NAIT and SAIT and around the province, which was good. There is money for tourism. They want to really promote that, so maybe there's opportunities for us to access that there too. So the other thing which I was watching for is, what's happening with the Brooks Junior High School there too, and I was looking through the data there. I didn't see anything, and I did contact somebody from Grasslands there, and they're hoping that maybe it will come out this week here, and I know the Premier's in the riding here this week here, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe an announcement would come, because that school goes back to being built in, I think, 1947, 48, and it's high time, that was changed there, and it's big for the area here. And I think trustee or chairperson Pat Connor at Joint Services said that they got a budget of about 40 million or 41 million for the school there too. The design stuff was done last year, but they have to get the budget approved, and so we'll be watching for that this week there too. Anybody else want to comment on the budget? They're all, yeah. Okay. And Councillor Jessica on the CARES conference.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I attended the Alberta CARE Spring Conference in Camrose, and as usual, it was very successful with 150 delegates from across the province. CARE stands for Coordinated Action for Recycling Enterprise. It involves itself with recycling initiatives and waste management, but more at the where the work is actually being done, as opposed to being a higher level industrial type of programs. So as I said, it's well attended. One of the first presentations was by Camrose on their recycling systems and how extended producer responsibility will affect them. And Camrose is very similar to Brooks. Population is a little bit bigger, around 20,000, and a trading area of 100,000, but their recycling facility is quite similar in the way it operates, and picked up a few ideas from that. And then there were presentations on the Extended Producer Responsibility Program, which continues to evolve, and which I'll take back to Newell Recycling. I think the one presentation that was maybe the most relative was on their new wastewater treatment plant. And it was called Technology for Removing Ammonia and Phosphorus from Wastewater. And it was a $51 million project. the biggest project they've ever done, but that included a storage lagoon expansion, a lift station, and treatment facilities. And,
Where was that one at?
At Camrose.
Cameron.
So the existing system was similar to Brooks with lift stations, aerated lagoons, and storage lagoons with release into the Battle River in spring and fall. And this expansion increases their capacity from 20,000 to 30,000. Now, the province was pushing for a full mechanical system, which is very expensive. And this system is a hybrid of lagoons and mechanical. And kind of an interesting process. They started design submission in 2017, and then in 2018 the province tightened the standards while in the middle of it, and then they were able to convince them to approve the original design. And in 2021 they began construction, and it was completed just before the new year. And so basically they have their lagoon system and settling ponds. Then it goes through something called a mixed bed reactor, and it's a technology that's common in Europe and Eastern Canada, and they did pilot tests in Manitoba, at the U of Manitoba, to see how it would handle the cold, and this is to take the phosphorus out. And this is the first in Alberta, though Wetaskiwin and Cold Lake are working on similar projects. And then the phosphorus removal is through a chemical addition and filtration. So Wetaskiwin is also being required to do final stage disinfection, and Camrose testing showed adequate natural disinfection in the lagoon, so Camrose doesn't have to, but it's something, I know wastewater upgrades have been on council's mind as long as I've been here, and well before that, so it's something we might want to look at when the time comes that we need to do something similar. And additional presentations, they did one on using drones for thermal inspection of for defects in solar panels. And they can fly a drone over a solar panel, and in the panel they can pick out any rectangles that are going bad for replacements. That was kind of interesting. And of course drones have many other applications. And then there was also something on 3D modeling, but well attended and very good conference.
I was going to ask you about EPR. When does that totally come in place? Is it 2025?
Yeah, phase one is supposed to kick in April 1st, 2025. Part of the presentation was presentations were talking about how certain phases have been extended, but that is still the target for phase one.
Okay, good, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, to the motion. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Jessica that the Administrative Report Canadian Award for Financial Reporting be accepted as information. Alan.
Thank you, through the chair to Mayor and Council. Shelley Thomas, Manager of Finance, has once again won the Canadian Award for Financial Reporting. This award for the 2022 financial reporting is conferred by the Government Finance Officers Association of Canada and the United States. It recognizes excellence in government accounting and financial reporting and represents a significant accomplishment by a local government. What makes this accomplishment even more special is that Shelley has received it every year since her commencement of employment with the city. That's 12 consecutive years, so she's been here a long time. And I'm confident that she will get one more for the 2023 reporting. The preparation of financial reporting is done behind the scenes and not something that is publicly noticed, but is what I feel the most intense task done by the municipality. Transparency and accurate financial reporting are crucial in municipal government, as we have a fiduciary responsibility to our ratepayers. I want to thank Shelley for her continued commitment to excellence and for making my job that much easier. We also need to make a shout out to Jordan over there for his artistic talents, and he puts this thing together to make it look really good as well. So congratulations.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations. I think accounting's not one of those jobs we think about. It's probably the most important job that we do around here. So congratulations on the award again there. And earlier today I was out at the getting a photograph of the bandit sign out front there, but maybe we need to replace that with the winner of the accounting award, the national championship on that. And we'll put your name, Shelley Thomas, there too. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations and thanks for your hard work there too. We appreciate that there too. So, okay, thank you, Alan. Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Nesbitt that March 26, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as Purple Day in the City of Brooks. Amanda.
Through the chair to Mayor and Council, on January 25th, City Administration received an email from the Epilepsy Association of Calgary regarding Purple Day for Epilepsy Awareness. Epilepsy is a condition that can happen anywhere and at any time. For this reason, a campaign to help individuals with this condition has been initiated to create an awareness of epilepsy, with March 26 being declared as International Epilepsy Awareness Day. In recognition of this day, support can be shown by wearing purple and lighting buildings, towers, and facilities up in purple. And the City of Brooks will be lighting up City Hall in purple on March 26 to show support for epilepsy awareness in our community. Therefore, the Epilepsy Association of Calgary respectfully requests that March 26, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as Purple Day in the City of Brooks.
Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Wardrop that March 8th, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as International Women's Day in the City of Brooks. Amanda.
In 1977, the United Nations designated March 8th as International Women's Day. International Women's Day is a time for women to be recognized for their achievements and in the progress made to achieve gender equality, as women's success is everyone's success. The Government of Canada's theme for International Women's Day 2024 is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Calling to action, a reminder that gender equality is one of the most effective ways to build healthier, more prosperous, and more inclusive communities. We all have a role to play in building a future where everyone can reach their full potential. On March 8th, the City of Brooks will recognize International Women's Day 2024 by way of its social media venues, and therefore administration is recommending that March 8th, 2024 be formally recognized as International Women's Day in the City of Brooks.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you, Amanda. Okay, moved by Councillor Prentice that Council approve the Spec Association request for space at the JBS Canada Centre for the Youth Connections program from April 2024 until March 2026. Randy.
Through the chair to Mayor and Council. So as you saw earlier in the meeting, since April 2023, SPEC has facilitated the Youth Connections program every Wednesday evening in the mezzanine at the JBS Canada Centre. The program was supported through a grant, which has been extended for an additional 2 years, and the grant helps cover their staff time and supplies required to run the program. They wish to continue facilitating the program out of the mezzanine on Wednesday evenings, using the space from 2 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Additionally, they're requesting to use gymnasium space in either the field house or flex hall 4 times a year for larger events where they bring in bouncers, obstacle courses, and more. There's no cost to youth to participate in this program, and having the program in the JBS Canada Centre provides a supervised space for youth in the facility. On February 14th, representatives from SPEC attended the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board meeting and presented the same overview of how the program went and made the request to continue utilizing the mezzanine space for the program. Therefore, the board made the following motion. John Nesbitt made the motion to recommend to Council approve the use of the facility as requested by SPEC for an additional 2-year term for the Youth Connections program, and that motion was carried. Therefore, administration recommends that Council approve the SPEC Association request for space at the JBS Canada Centre for the Youth Connections program from April 2024 until March 2026.
Okay, any questions? Okay, as I said before, it turned out to be a really good program for everybody there. Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Nesbitt that Amanda Peterson be appointed to the Arts, Culture and Heritage Board for a first 2-year term commencing March 5th, 2024 and ending March 4th, 2026, and that Tyler Wardrop be reappointed to the Arts, Culture and Heritage Board for a third 2-year term commencing February 20th, 2024 and ending February 19th, 2026, and further that Rhodas Massey be reappointed to the Arts, Culture and Heritage Board for a second 2-year term commencing March 22nd, 2024 and ending March 21st, 2026. Randy?
Through the chair to mayor and council, the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board's mandate is to assist both council and the city in providing opportunities for arts, culture, and heritage programs, events, and facilities within the city of Brooks. The board consists of 6 citizens at large and 1 city councillor, and there's currently 3 vacant citizens at large positions, as well as 2 citizen at large positions up for reappointment. The vacant positions were advertised and 1 application was received and reviewed by the board at a recent meeting. Tyler Wardrop was initially appointed to the board in February 2020 and then reappointed again in 2022 for a 2-year term ending February 19th, 2024. Rhodus Massey was initially appointed to the board for a 2-year term ending on March 21st, 2024, and therefore the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board would like to forward to City Council the following motions. Councillor John Nesbitt made a motion to appoint Amanda Peterson to be Citizen at Large representative on the City of Brooks Arts, Culture, Heritage Board. Councillor John Nesbitt made a motion to reappoint Tyler Wardrop for a 3rd term as a Citizen at Large representative on the City of Brooks Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board. And Emil Chris Aurelio made a motion to reappoint Rhodus Massey for a 2nd term as Citizen at Large representative on the City of Brooks Arts, Culture, Heritage Board, and all 3 of those motions were carried. Therefore, administration is recommending that Amanda Peterson be appointed to the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board for a first 2-year term commencing March 5th, 2024 and ending March 4th, 2026, that Tyler Wardrop be reappointed to the Arts, Culture, Heritage Board for a 3rd 2-year term commencing February 20th, 2024 and ending February 19th, 2026, and further that Rhodus Massey be reappointed to the Arts, Culture, Heritage Board for a 2nd 2-year term commencing March 22nd, 2024 and ending March 21st, 2026.
Okay, thank you. And again, I always want to thank the people that come forward to volunteer on the boards. As the city, we really appreciate that too. Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that policy F002-009D entitled Record Retention and Disposable Policy be approved. Is that Amy? Amy.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council. Administration recently updated the city's records retention policy, which was last updated in 2006. The retention schedule has been updated to reflect municipal affairs' current retention and scheduling of municipal records document. Other minor changes have been made to reflect current positions, and a section has been added that permits an electronic record when stored on the city's document imaging software and or a secure electronic file folder to be considered an original record. As since the COVID pandemic, the city has transitioned to more electronic document storage. This was presented at committee, and the changes discussed there for retention times have been made. Therefore, administration is recommending that the policy be approved.
Okay, any questions? Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Goodenough that bylaw 2410 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw number 1412 being the land use bylaw be introduced and read a first time. Should be Gavin, I believe, right? Okay, go ahead there, Gavin.
Yep. Bylaw 2410 proposes to redesignate land at 1512 and 1514 2nd Avenue East from residential single detached to residential high density. As per the requirements of the Municipal Government Act, a public hearing must be held prior to council's decision on the bylaw to rezone the land. The undeveloped property was subdivided in 2007 and included in the Southeast Sector Area Structure Plan as multi-family development area. There is an adjacent single detached residence to the north of this location across the alley. The area is serviced with water and sewer on the south side of the lot in the street. Legislative context within the area structure plan, policies 36124 indicates that higher density multi-family developments will be encouraged in the following areas, including along 2nd Avenue East. Policy 36125, multi-family housing will ensure the following: that the external design, character, and appearance of the buildings must ensure architectural integrity of the site and surrounding dwellings. As well, comprehensive siting plans will be encouraged in order to ensure proper relationship to the existing and proposed development in the area. Site design will also ensure proper ingress and egress to major roadways. And one last policy to have note, development adjacent to Second Avenue East and other major collectors will reflect appropriate design, being highly visible locations. Design will ensure amenity space is provided for each dwelling unit and is sensitive to existing or proposed development in the area. Building orientation should be directed to the street in order to enhance the experience of pedestrian and to enhance the safety of the community and the development to facilitate opportunities for social exchange. The next steps in the process is that the public hearing will be advertised in compliance with the Municipal Government Act and the City Land Use Bylaw prior to consideration of second and third reading. The decision on the proposed rezoning should be evaluated on the suitability of the lands for the intended use outlined in the Southeast Sector Area Structure Plan. Recommendation for council this evening is to pass first reading and to set the public hearing date as March 18th.
Okay, thanks, Gavin. We can ask for clarifications if anybody needs a clarification on what they're talking about at after the first reading here. We good? Okay. Then we'll go to the motion then. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Idris that a public hearing be held on March 18th, 2024 at 5 p.m. to gather public input regarding bylaw number 2410. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, questions from the media. Sandra?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, moved by Councillor Jessica that the meeting adjourned at 5:20 p.m. All those in favor? Carried.